Good morning, everyone. So I'm Ravi. I have close to like 13 years of experience to IT. So I started giving trainings from the past close to 9 years. So I have trained many candidates in different technologies. And currently I'm working as a solution architect for a bank. And these are the different technologies that I teach and I'm currently working on. So before jumping into Snowflake, I just want to set the context. So so the purpose of this demo is to like make you understand what is Snowflake. Okay, so what are the opportunities we have, and like what is the job market, why people are moving towards Snowflake. Okay, so I'll introduce to the like different topics of Snowflake. Yeah, that is the agenda of the demo. To start Snowflake, right? So just want to understand from you guys. Do you guys have any prior knowledge on SQL or any other databases? Because to learn Snowflake, SQL is mandatory. In case if you are new to SQL, we will share you like there are around 12 videos. So if you can go through that, so parallelly you can follow the session and you can understand. Anybody wants to know private job? Shashida? Okay, fine, fine, that's fine, not an issue. I'll start with the basic. Okay, in between, if you have any questions, you can stop. For the first like 5 to 10 minutes, it's pure basic. Then we'll jump into Snowflake. Okay, fine. So before starting it, so I'll just introduce to Snowflake. So do you guys know what is it, what is exactly meant by Snowflake? See, basically, Snowflake is a database. Maybe you might have heard about different databases, right? In the market, we have different databases, right? We have Oracle, okay. We have SQL Server, we have Teradata, and we have Post GRE SQL, okay? And we have DB2. And there are different databases that are available in the market. Okay. Similarly, we have Snowflake. Okay? So we'll understand what is the difference between like Snowflake and the other databases. So these are all called on-premise databases. On-premise databases. This is called, it's a cloud database. It's a cloud database. So first of all, what do you mean by a database? Any idea what do you mean by database?
Is a storage or a collection of data.
Right. See, I'll just take one example. Let's say you have a bank called HDFC Bank, or let me take Bank of America. So we have a bank. Okay. So for the bank, we have different customers, right? There could be n number of customers for the bank. So let's assume there are around 2 million customers for this bank. So what are the different services that this bank is offering? So let's say they are into banking and they are into insurance. Even they will give loans to the customers. Even if you look at the branches, right? So banking, there is a different office. Insurance will have a different office. Loans will have a different office. So why they have segregated into different like branches? Because each and every service is different, right? To differentiate the service, they have separated the branches. Okay. Similarly, to store the customer information, I require a database. Let's say, so there is a database called BOA underscore D, Bank of America underscore D. This is the database. This database will be used to store 2 million like customer information. And we have different services, right? So to differentiate each service in database, we have schema. So schema 1 will be responsible for banking related information. Schema 2 is for insurance. And schema 3 will be responsible for loans related information. Okay. So database will have different schemas. So the point is, when I say database, so database will have different schemas. So what are the different schemas we have? Schema 1, schema 2, and schema 3. So database will have different schemas. What schema will contain? What schema will contain? Schema will contain objects. What do you mean by an object? Have you heard about a table? So let me just show you one simple example. You can stop me guys if you have any questions. Let's say we have different people join right today. So let's say we have Krishna is there, Rajip is there. So let me just repeat the names here. Let's say student number, student name, and date of joining. Let's say the course. So student number, let's say one. Student name is let's say Seba, and date of joining. Let's say they joined on 06 08 2024. Oh, they joined for the course, let's say Snowflake. There's one more student, Krishna, and the same date, right? And there is one more student, let's say, let me take Ravi, and let's say he joined on 5th of June. Let's say he joined for Oracle. Okay, this is just a simple example. Okay, so if you look at this, this is called as a table. What a table will contain? Table will contain columns. These are all columns. How many columns we have? We have four columns, right? So number of columns, we have four columns. How many rows we have? This entire thing is called row. How many rows we have? We have three rows. This is called as row. We have four columns and three rows. Now, tell me what is the type of information I'm storing in the student number? When I say type of information, so it's a numeric information, right? It's a numeric information. It's a character information. This is also character information. And this is date information, right? So the type of information we'll call it as a data type. Okay. What do you mean by data type? Data type is nothing but the type of information which you are storing in a particular column. So we have different data types. Okay. So we have number. Okay. So which will be used to store numeric information. See, these are all basics to start Snowflake. Okay. Just bear with me. If you are already know, that's fine. Just try to follow another like 5 to 6 minutes. I'll cover the basics. So this is numeric information. Then what is this? This is a character information. Okay. To store character information, we have varchar. So this is a character information. We have varchar. So what is this? This is date, right? This is a date information. To store date information, we have date column. So date will be used to store date information. You're clear, right? Till this point. The terms which we learned is what do you mean by a column, what do you mean by a row, and what is a data type. And what are the different data types we have? Number, varchar, date. There are other data types also, but as part of demo, we'll try to understand these data types. Okay? So this is called as a table. Let's say the table name. Let me put it as table, all borders. Let's say the table name is T underscore course info. So course info is my table name, and this is the data. So objects, when I say objects, you have tables. Okay. And let's say I'm starting a new business. Okay, let's take this example just to see whatever I'm typing, right? It's already here. Okay. You just need to follow. So let's say I'm starting a new business. Just to save the time, I'm copy pasting here. So let's assume I'm starting a supermarket. So to start any business, what you require? You need to purchase the software, right? You need to purchase the software, and you need to have the infrastructure, right? So you need to have the proper hard disk and the RAM. Let's say the hard disk which I purchase is 1 TB, and the RAM that I purchased is 32 GB. Okay, and let's say initially there is a version called V1, and let's say after some time a new version came into the picture called V2. So what I need to do? I need to upgrade, right? I need to upgrade from V1 to V2. Okay, and if you look at Amazon, right? So their servers will be up and running 24/7, right? You can place an order at any given point in time. So since you are starting a business, your server should up and running 24 by 7. Okay. Which means 24 by 7, there will be a cost. Okay. And patches are not required. So let's say 3 months, after 3 months, you feel that your business is growing. Okay. Your business is growing. See, I'm talking about on-premise. What do you mean by on-premise? When I say on-premise, you have to purchase the software, you have to maintain the hardware, and you need to do the upgradation, and you need to do maintenance activities. Okay. These are all the different costs that are involved in case of on-premise. Okay. When I say on-premise, you have to bear all the costs. Okay. And let's say after 2 months, after 3 months, you feel that your business is growing. Okay. Can you see here? Initially, you purchased it for 1 terabyte and 32 GB. You are increasing the capacity because you have more number of customers. So let's say initially you have around 1,000 customers, and later you after 3 months your customers are like increased to 2,000. Then you need to increase the capacity also. That is called scale up. You just try to understand terms here. You need to understand what do you mean by on-premise and scale up. When I say scale up, I'm increasing the capacity. Okay, the hardware capacity I'm increasing. That is called scale up. Let's say after 3 months you feel that your business is not growing. Okay, so the customers are dropped from, let's say, 1,000 to 500. Okay, or let's say 1,000 to 200, which means your business is not growing. Okay, there is no point in like paying the cost for all these things. Okay, so you are reducing your capacity. That is called scaled up. You're clear, right? What do you mean by scale up? You're increasing the capacity from lower to higher. Scale down means you're decreasing your capacity from higher to lower. That is called, what to say, scale up and scale down. When I say on premise, you have to bear all the cost. The initial setup, if you want to start a business, you have to purchase all these things, and then only you need to start the business. Clear, right? Till this point.
Yes.
So Ishwant, Navya. So for the first 10 minutes, right? It's basics. Then we'll jump to Snowflake. Okay. Okay. Fine. Now we'll just talk about, there is one more important term that you need to understand. What are the different formats of the data we have? See, we have different formats of the data. One is called structured data. When I say structured, you can take the example of a table. So we have seen a table, right? What a table will contain? Table will contain columns and rows, right? This is called as table. We can take a table as a structured format. And there is one more format called CSV. CSV means comma separated value. So let me show you one file. So let's take this file. Okay, I just opened this file. Look at the content here. This is a CSV format. This particular file is a CSV format. Let me open in a notepad, then you'll get the clarity. I'm opening it in the notepad. Look at the file. See, each and every column is separated with a comma, right? Each and every column is separated with a comma. And how many rows you have? How many rows you have? You have 16 rows. Okay. If you exclude the first row, you have 16 records. This is one more format. This is called CSV. Can you see the extension? .csv. .csv is the extension. So I'm just naming the different formats we have and what we are going to learn. And we have one more format called, let me copy this. This is a structured format, and we have semi-structured. So what do you mean by semi-structured data? Have you heard about XML, JSON, Parquet, Avro, and Arc? You might have heard these terms, right? XML format, JSON, Parquet, Avro, and all. So let me open a few files and I'll explain. See, there is one file called, can you see the extension here? What is the type here? Type is JSON, right? It's a JSON format. And there is one more format called, this is called XML format. And can you see the extension dot Parquet? dot parquet. Let me open CSV, XML, and JSON. Look at the XML. Look at the JSON first. Dot JSON. This is one more format. Can you see? This is the ID and first name. First name, let's say Krishna is the first name, and let's say okay, K is the last name, and car model Mercedes Benz, car model C class, and what is the model year. Okay, so this is one of the customer information. Okay? So I have many records, but the format is different. This is called JSON format. Now let's look at the XML format. So 7369, let's say the employee name is Navya, and she is a clerk. Okay, and she joined on this particular date. Her salary is, let's say, 8,000. Okay, she belongs to 23 department. So this is another kind of information. This particular data is called XML format. You have JSON, XML, CSV. CSV is called structured format. Let me come back here. Yeah, CSV is called structured format. These are all called unstructured formats. The reason why I'm telling is Snowflake supports all kinds of data. Okay, and we have unstructured data. When I say unstructured, you can take the example of images and your PDFs. And we have streaming data called Facebook data. Okay. Okay. Now, tell me, do you know what is a cloud actually? Anyone? What do you mean by cloud? See, we have seen on-premise, right? When I say on-premise, if you want to start a business, you need to have initial capital, right? Okay, to purchase the software, hardware, and to do the maintenance activities. Okay, you need to invest initially, right? Some amount, right? So there is a initial cost involved in case of on-premise. But what do you mean by cloud actually? So when I say cloud, you can take the example of Gmail. So if you want to log into Gmail, what you need to have? You need to have a URL with username and password, right? So if you have the URL, you can just log in and you can give your username and password. You can send emails and you can upload the files. Okay. So you can do a lot of things. So this is okay. Google is one of the cloud providers. Let's talk about the cloud providers first. So in the market, we have different cloud providers. The first one is Azure, Microsoft Azure. So Amazon is there, and we have Google Cloud Provider. So these are the three cloud providers who are supporting like majority of the customers. Okay. So let's say I just want to start a business. Now what I can do is I can approach these cloud providers stating that I require this much of capacity. Okay. I'm asking them to provide or prepare an environment with this capacity. Okay. You need no need to pay anything. What they will do is they will prepare an environment for you. So they'll take care of giving you the server of 1 terabyte, 32 GB of RAM, what are the software that you want. Okay. They'll take care of providing the environment for you. And once the preparation is done, what they will do, they'll share you one URL with username and password. With these three credentials, okay, with these two, with username and password, you can log in and you can access the environment. So there is no what to say initial cost and there is no maintenance cost. Okay. Whenever there is any new software, right, they'll take care of upgrading that and they'll take care of maintaining the what to say the system or admin activities. Okay. So there is a lot of initial cost is reduced, and whenever you want, let's say initially you have this much of capacity. Let's say after few months you need to reduce your capacity. You just need to place a request. That's it. They'll take care of that. You're following, right? So did you get the difference between on-premise and cloud? What are the disadvantages of on-premise? The disadvantages you have to purchase the hardware, you have to purchase the software, you need to do the maintenance activities, and you need to run yours. I mean, you need the server should be up and running 24/7. Okay, there's a lot of cost involved. But in case of cloud, let's say if you used your system for let's say 5 hours, you have to pay only for 5 hours. 5 hours, okay? Pay only for the services, okay, that you have consumed. You have to pay only only for the services that you have consumed. But it is not the case in case of on-premise, right? In on-premise, uh, there is no way that there are no customers from, let's say, morning 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Okay, so it is not the case, right? You have to pay for that, whether you are getting the customers or not. Okay, you have to pay for that. Clear? I think the basics are done actually. Okay. If you are new to SQL, I already told you, I'll share you the videos. There are like close to 12 videos. You can go through that and you can get the knowledge. Okay. Now, let's start with Snowflake. What exactly meant by a Snowflake? So basically, Snowflake is a database. Okay. You can just compare with any of the existing databases. But only difference is Snowflake is designed purely for analytics. So when I say analytics, you are going to deal with huge volumes of data. You're going to deal with huge volumes of data. So let's take this example. Let's say you have a bank called Bank of America. Okay. So it is there from long time. Okay. It is there from long time. Okay. So let's say around 50 years, let's assume from the past 50 years, this bank is there. Okay. They'll have millions of customers. Okay. And what generally what the people will do is they'll maintain the 5 years of data in one database. Okay. This is called as a current transactional database. Okay. Current transactions. Okay. Transactional database. When I say transactional database, the current transactions will be maintained in this particular database. What about the rest of the 45 years? For the rest of the 45 years, they'll maintain data in another database that is called analytical database. Analytical database. Okay. Why we are maintaining analytical database? Because the volume of the data is very huge. Okay. Let's say if the customer comes to the bank and let's say if he requests for, let's say I need last 5 years of bank statement. Okay. They'll give you immediately. But if you place a request, let's say I need the bank statement, let's say let's say from the year, let's say 1998 to 2000. Okay. They'll take some time because they have to hit the database, which is having huge volume of data. Okay. This is just an example. Okay. To make you understand. Okay, so we'll just jump to just a minute. I'm just checking. Yeah, you're clear, right? Okay, so I need to tell you one more thing. So why we are going with Snowflake? What are the advantages we have? So let's look at the different cloud providers. So we have AWS, Azure, and GCP. So these are the three cloud providers who are supporting Snowflake. Let's say you have developed a software, okay, and you want to release it to the market. What are the different ways? Okay, you need to approach the customers stating that you have this software and you can just market that, so they will purchase. Similarly, Snowflake is a database. Okay, but you know how they are approached the customers. They have approached AWS, Azure, and GCP. So they don't have Snowflake as such. They don't have a cloud environment. Okay, so they are relying on AWS, Azure, and GCP. Okay, so these are the three cloud providers who are supporting Snowflake. I can give a better example. See, so you have Oracle, right? Oracle has its own cloud, right? Oracle has its own cloud. Even SQL Server, they have their own cloud. Microsoft Azure, okay? IBM DB2, they have their own cloud. But Snowflake is a database. They don't have their own cloud environment. So that is the reason they are relying on these three cloud providers: Microsoft Azure, GCP, and Amazon. Okay? Now, why Snowflake? So basically, Snowflake is a cloud data warehouse or a cloud database. You have to pay only for the services that you have consumed. Guys, you are following, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fine. You can stop me if you have any questions. Okay? So you have to pay only for the services that you have consumed. The storage services are flexible, scale up and scale down. So we know what is a scale up and scale down. It supports semi-structured data. JSON we have seen, XML we have seen. Okay. So we'll see the other files later. It has integrations with cloud providers like Amazon, Azure, and GCP, and it has integrations with ETL and reporting tools. ETL and reporting tools. When I say ETL and reporting tools, let me just show you the slide. See, look at this slide. See, this is Snowflake. Snowflake can interact with the different ETL tools, okay? And you can send the data or you can get the data. Similarly, there are some big data tools, right? We have Spark, Hadoop, Big, Hive, and all, right? So you can send the data, you can get the data from big data tools. And finally, the data can be moved to the reporting layer. See, this is the typical responsibility of a data engineer. I think you might have heard of this term, right? Data engineer. Nowadays, the role is the data engineer. So, what do you mean by data engineer actually? So, as a data engineer, what you need to know is you need to know any one of the database, okay? And you should know one scripting, you should know one ETL, okay? You should know one ETL, and you should know one of the cloud environment, okay? Any one of the cloud environment. I'll just list what are the different technologies that we are going to learn as part of this course. Okay, the first one is Snowflake. So Snowflake, and after that we'll work on AWS, Azure, and GCP. So I'll tell you how to create the account with AWS, Azure, and GCP, and I'll tell you how to load the data from these cloud providers to Snowflake, and we'll discuss some examples on Python. Okay, and let me talk about this ETL tools first. So can you see we have Informatica, DBT is there, right? So these are the two tools which we are going to learn, not completely, but like couple of examples. Okay. When I say Informatica, IACS, Informatica Integrated Cloud Services, and Data Build Tool. Okay. DBT. These are the two things that we are going to learn. And this is the reporting layer. Can you see the reporting tools? So as part of reporting, we are going to learn about Power BI. Power BI. Okay. Not completely. I'll show you a couple of examples. Okay. So these are the different technologies that we are going to learn. And also we are going to learn about Oracle. When I say Oracle, how you are going to load the data from Oracle to Snowflake. Okay. That is one more example that we are going to take. Fine. Right. You're clear, right? So when I say Snowflake can interact with different ETL and reporting tools, these are the reporting tools, and these are the ETL tools, and this is the reporting tool. Okay, integration with cloud services like Amazon, Azure, GCP, ETL and reporting tools, integration with Python. I already told you we will work with Python also. Advanced features like streams, tasks. Anyways, you can just take a look at the course content. I have mentioned what are the things that we're going to learn. Okay, now the next step is we should understand what is the architecture of Snowflake. Can you look at this slide? There are three layers, right? Can you see here database storage layer, query processing layer, and cloud services layer? Just give me a minute. Already. So we have three different layers: database storage layer, query processing layer, and cloud services layer. So I'll explain this with take a simple example. Let's assume you have a external hard disk. You have external hard disk of let's say 1 terabyte, and you have lot of images you have, and you have videos you have, and you have some files. So now let's assume there are three different computers. One computer with PC1. Let's assume it is with let's say 4 GB RAM. You have a PC1 with 4 GB RAM, and there is one more PC2. Let's say it is of with 16 GB RAM, and there is one more PC which is of let's say 32 GB. Okay. Now, if tell me which computer will give you better performance if you connect your external hard disk. Okay, which one will give you more performance? Obviously, the one with which is having
32 GB.
Yes, uh, the one which is having huge RAM, right? Okay, the one which is having huge RAM will give you the better performance. Okay, if you open an image, it'll open very fast. If you play a video, okay, it won't buffer. It'll play very fast. Okay, so like just take this example. So your external hard disk will have all the data, and to view the data, what you require the computer which is having more RAM, right? I mean to say more process. Okay, let me take the same example. Take this as an external hard disk. So you have all your files in an external hard disk. You have your CSV files, your JSON, XML, okay, whatnot. All the files here. And how you are going to view them? You require a virtual warehouse. Just remove the keyword RAM. Okay, forget about the keyword RAM and replace with virtual warehouse. Okay, remove the keyword RAM and put virtual warehouse. Okay, see, both are same here. Just for the understanding, you can assume like both are same, but we just remove the keyword RAM. Okay, so we have three different virtual warehouses. Let's assume one is with 4 GB RAM. Okay, one is with 4 GB. Okay, and the other one is with let's say 16 GB. The other one is with let's say 32 GB. Okay, so if I want to retrieve the data from this database, okay, I require the help of virtual warehouse. So if my virtual warehouse size is more, okay, my performance will be improved. Okay, so the point is, in the database you will have data, and virtual warehouse will be responsible for retrieving the data from the database. It will depend upon your virtual warehouse size. Clear? If you're clear, I'll move to cloud service layer.
Yes, clear.
Yes. Okay, what do you mean by cloud service layer? When I say cloud service, see, to log into Snowflake, we require a username and password with URL. We'll create the account in a minute. Look at this. So what I need to do is I need to create a Snowflake account. I need to have a URL with the username and password. Okay. So can you see there is a term called authentication and access control? Authentication and access control. So authentication means it will verify whether the username and password are correct or not. So the cloud service layer will check whether the given username and password correct or not. Even if you try to enter invalid credential for your Gmail, right? Okay, it should verify it internally. It has to verify whether the username and password correct or not. Okay, there should be some system to check whether the given credentials are correct or not. Similarly, when you're logging into Snowflake, okay, the cloud services layer will check whether the credentials are correct or not. Anyways, we'll discuss these components later, but let me quickly create a Snowflake account. So this is the actual part, guys. Let me log into Snowflake. Okay, snowflake.com. Okay, so yeah, can you see? I just logged into snowflake.com. At the right hand side, can you see start for free? So click on this start for free. I'm just trying to create an account with Snowflake. Can you see there is a message here? Start your 30-day free Snowflake trial, which includes $400 of free usage. Now, if I create an account, my account is valid for 30 days. Okay. See, you no need to do any kind of installations. You just need to create an account. Okay. You need to give first name, last name, mail ID, company name, role. Okay. And the region. Okay. So let me just give the details. So I'm just taking one of my student email. Let me log in. So this is the email ID. and company name. So I'm just going with the Bank of America. Role. My role is a data engineer. Clear, right? First name, last name, email ID, company name, and the role. That's it. Let me just click on continue. So once I click on continue, can you see the editions here? What are different editions of Snowflake? We have three different editions. One is standard, enterprise, and business critical. I'll tell you what are these. Okay, so I have different editions of Snowflake. One is standard, the other one is enterprise, and the third one is business critical. What exactly meant by this? I'll just show you one slide wherein I have listed all the different options of each edition: standard edition, enterprise, business critical. Okay, so it's too early to understand these terms. Okay, let me just put it with a simple example. Let's say you are purchasing a car. Okay, the car will have base variant, right? Base model. Okay, mid variant. Okay, base variant, mid variant, and high variant. So why people go with high variant? Because they'll get all the features. Okay. What are the features that are available in the base variant and mid variant? They'll get all the features in the high variant. That is the reason I am going with business critical. So when I say business critical, standard means you'll get only limited number of features. Enterprise means you won't get all the features. Business critical means you'll get all the features of Snowflake. Okay. So let me just select business critical. I'm going with business critical. And as I already told you, Snowflake doesn't have its own cloud environment. That is the reason they are relying on these three cloud providers: Microsoft Azure, Amazon, and GCP. Okay. Let me go with AWS. So it is a region actually. Which region you want? Let me select Asia Pacific. Click on the terms. You're clear, right? I'm selecting the Snowflake edition as business critical, and AWS is my cloud provider. Click on get started. Okay. So then they are collecting the information. Thank you for signing up. What is your like interest in signing up with Snowflake? I want to do my training and certification. Okay. When I say training or certification, okay, let me just show you the certifications what we have. See, look at these certifications. We have Snow Pro Core certification. Okay. Advanced certification, architect, administrator, data engineer, data scientist, data analyst. Okay. So these are the different certifications you have. Okay, depending upon your role. Let's say if you're working as a data scientist. Okay, so the basic certification is Snow Pro Core certification. So if you can complete this course, you can easily clear the first certification, Snow Pro Core certification. Okay, so I'll share you the dumps and all, and I'll help you in preparing. Or clearing the certification also. That's not a problem. Okay, but it is completely a practical oriented. Okay, this is about the certification information. Just give me 1 minute. I'm getting some background noise. Let me just correct that. Just give me 1 minute. So I'm signing up with Snowflake to clear my certification, and I just want to practice the. Give an example. Let me click on continue. Okay. So what exactly you're going to do with Snowflake? So if you want, you can skip this step. Click on continue. And these are the different languages that Snowflake supports: SQL, Python, Java. Okay. What is your preferred language? So I'm just going with Python, SQL, and yeah, click on submit. That's it. So can you see there's a message? You'll get an email to your account to activate. Now let me switch to my email. Can you see activate your Snowflake account? So click on this and you'll find one URL. So this is the URL to log in. So I already told you to log into Snowflake what you require. You require the URL and how to get the username and password. Click on this button. Click to activate. So I'm going with, let me just make a note of the username and password. So I'm just giving the username as Krishna and I would like to give the password as Krishna@123. Okay. Let me give the same here. Krishna is my username. Krishna@123 is the password. Let me click on started. Get started. Now, done. So now you logged into Snowflake. See, this is called user interface. This is called user interface. This is very important. This is the first question that you'll expect in the interviews. What are the different user interfaces you have in Snowflake? So the user interface or the user experience, okay, the user interface which you are currently seeing is called Snow Site. Okay, the name of the UI is called Snow Site. Okay, so this is available from 2023 onwards. So prior to that, you have one more user interface called Classic UI. Okay, before 2023. Okay, even I think my previous batch students they used to practice on Classic UI. Now from 2023 onwards, you need to work on the Snow Site user interface. Okay, so just remember you have two user interfaces. One is Snow Site, the other one is Classic UI. Okay? And Snowflake recommends to use only Snow Site. Okay. Anyways, this is deprecated. It's not available. Let me go to Snow Site. This is called Snow Site environment. There is a plus symbol, right? So click on this plus symbol, and there is one thing called SQL worksheet. Okay, SQL worksheet. So I just logged into Snowflake, and at the left hand side, can you see databases? We have Snowflake is one of the database, Snowflake sample data. So these two databases are given by Snowflake. If you look at the architecture, this is the architecture. In the architecture, we have three layers, right? Database storage layer, query processing layer, and cloud services layer. So in the database layer, I have different databases. So I have two databases which are given by Snowflake. I would like to create my own database. So let's start with creating the database. So let me take this example. So I would like to have a database called Bank of America DB. Okay. And inside the database, you have different schemas. I need to create different schemas. Even if you look at the databases that are given by Snowflake, just expand this. This is called database, and all these are all called schemas. Okay? See, information schema. Okay, this is one more schema. Okay, these are all different schemas. What schema will contain? Schema will contain objects, right? So if I expand this, I have tables. What are the different tables you have? So they have given some tables to practice. They are given call center table, customer table, okay, and yeah, item table, promotion, reason. There are a lot of tables that they are given to practice. Okay, the point is database will have different schemas. Schema will have different objects. One of the object is table. So I would like to create a database. So create database, database name. It's pure English, okay? Create database, database name. So the database is successfully created. Now, how you execute this statement? There are two ways you can execute a statement. Okay, so you can hit the play button by selecting the entire command. You can hit the play button, or what you can do is you can use Control CTRL plus Enter. This is the shortcut to execute any statement. Okay, to execute a statement. Let me quickly create a. Okay, so let me see the information. Click on refresh. Can you see here Bank of America DB? Okay, so once I create any database, can you see there are two schemas? These two schemas will be automatically created. Okay. If you create any database, two schemas will be automatically created. I'll tell you the purpose of those two schemas in tomorrow's session. Okay. Now, what is my requirement? My requirement is to create a database. Inside this database, I would like to create three schemas. One is banking schema, loans, and insurance schema. Let me create the schema. Create schema banking underscores. Let me start with loans underscore schema. Done. Created. Similarly, I would like to create two more schemas. One is insurance schema. The other one is banking schema. Let me do a refresh. The banking schema, insurance schema, loan schema. Now, let me just expand one schema. What it is saying, no objects found. No objects found. What is my requirement here? My requirement is to create an object. So we have this one, right? We already have a table here. The table name is t underscore cust info. I would like to create this table. To create a table, see, create table. My table name is t underscore cust info. This is my table name. Okay? And I would like to create the table. To create the table, what you require? You need to know the column name, right? I know the column name. Okay. And I should know the data type. Now tell me, what is the data type of this column? It is numeric information, right? We discussed already. So for numeric information, I need to use a number, correct? So student number is a number data type. What is the next column? Student name. I know student name is a character information. So what I need to use? I need to use varchar. And date of joining. Date of joining is which data type? It's a date information, right?
Date.
So what use date? I need to use date. I need to use date. What is the other column? Course. I know course is a character. It's a varchar.
Okay.
Varchar, right? So let me quickly create this table. Done. Now let me do a refresh. See, earlier I don't see any objects, but I have a table. This is my table. Okay, now if anyone asks you, let's say, as a Snowflake developer, what you're doing. Okay, let me click this option databases. Go to the database that you have created. Go to the schema. Let me click on create. Okay, so as a database developer, or what you guys are going to learn in the next 30 days. So you're going to learn about creating tables, creating views, creating different stages, storage integrations, file format, sequences, pipe, streams, tasks, functions, procedures, dynamic tables. Okay. And there are a lot of other objects which I have mentioned in the course content. If you look at the course content, right? Let me, yeah. See, just look at the highlighted ones, which are in blue color. So the first session, we are going to talk about the overview, and we'll talk about the virtual warehouses, and we'll talk about the different. See, the terms are very new for you, but just try to see what we are going to learn. Okay, we're going to learn about different stages. Okay, and we are going to learn about copy command. Okay, and different tables in Snowflake, Snowpipe, time travel, cloning, streams, tasks, caching, data sharing, different roles, functions, procedures. We'll learn about Python, okay, and we'll see how we are going to load the data from Oracle to Snowflake by using Informatica Cloud. These are all real-time scenarios. And there is a most demanding tool in the market, okay, in India or in other countries also, that is data build. Okay. So we are going to learn about this, and so we're going to see what are different examples on Snowpark, and we'll discuss well, like couple of sessions for dedicatedly for interview preparation and project discussion, resume preparation. Okay, and yeah, these are the different things that we're going to discuss. Just get the course content from the management and look at that, and yeah. So we have seen one component, right? Database layer we have seen. Okay, what is this query? What to say? What is this? Virtual warehouse, right? What do you mean by virtual warehouse? Okay, so we know at the left hand side, right? In the left hand side, what we have different databases. And what is this area called? The area where we are typing all the commands is called worksheet. In the worksheet, we'll write all the commands. Now, I'll take one simple example. Let's say we have different students. Let me just take the names. Let's say I'm working in a company. Let's say my role, my role is what? I am a manager, and I'm taking one more person. Let's say Seba, or he or she working under me, and she is a team lead. She or he is a team lead. And there is one more person. Let me pick the names. Well, Yashwant is there, Krishna is there. Okay. Yashwant is a consultant. Yashwant is a consultant, or we can take it as a senior software engineer. And let's say there is one more person called Krishna. Let's say she is a fresher. And there is one more person, let's say Venkat is there. Let me pick Venkat. Let's say there is one person called Venkat. She is a consultant. He is a consultant. So this is the typical hierarchy in a company. Let's say if I'm working in a company, this is the hierarchy, right? So manager. See, Ravi is a username. That's it. But what are the different roles that he can perform depending upon his role, right? As a manager, I can control everyone, right? I can control everyone. My roles and responsibilities are different. So I need to work with the higher management to see what is the what are different projects we have, how many people I need to recruit. Okay. Okay. I need to check their performance and all. So that those are the responsibilities of Ravi. Okay. How these responsibilities are defined depending upon his role. Role will decide what he needs to. You got the point, right? The point is role will decide what a user can do. This is very important. This point is very important. Role will decide what a user can do. Okay, that is called role-based access control (RBAC). Means role-based access control. Depending upon my role, my responsibilities will be defined. So this is a typical structure. If I have to convert that to Snowflake, what I can do is see I am a account admin. Accountant. You can, for the time being, you can assume like he is a manager. Okay, Seba, she is a system admin, and Yashwant, he is a user admin. Okay, Krishna is a fresher, let's say public. Okay, see, account admin is a role, sysadmin is a role, user admin is a role, public is a role. Okay? And there is one more role, sysadmin. So account admin, let's say manager, user sysadmin, let's say team lead, senior software engineer, let's say user admin. Now tell me, among these roles, fresher is the least role and manager is the highest role. If you talk about Snowflake, account admin is the super role, okay, and least role is public. Are you clear with this example? I'm just talking about the roles. Okay. Any questions on this roles? I'll conclude within 5 minutes, guys. So my idea of this session is to make you understand what is Snowflake, what are the different terms we have, and what we are going to learn in the next 30 days, and what are the technologies that I'm going to cover. Okay, that is the agenda of this session. You're clear, right? This admin part, I mean the roles part. So if you say yes, I'll move to the Snowflake UI and let's see here. What are the different roles you have? You have account admin. Okay, you have public, security admin, sysadmin, user admin. Okay? This is the role part. Anyways, we have a separate session to discuss that. Let's concentrate on warehouse. Can you see what is a way? As of now, you can see one warehouse, right? What it is saying? Compute warehouse. This is a warehouse. I'll tell you the purpose of warehouse. I think we already discussed it. Can anyone tell me what is the purpose of this warehouse? See, if you take the external hard disk as an example, there are three computers. One is with 4 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM, 32 GB RAM. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of RAM? Depending upon your RAM speed, okay, or RAM size, your performance will differ. Correct? Which means you can retrieve the data from your hard disk. Yes or no? No one is talking. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Right. So
Yes, yes.
let's Yeah, let's try to create a warehouse also. Then I'll explain. Okay, I'll tell you the purpose. So the point which I'm making is warehouse will be responsible for retrieving the data from the database, right? My point is correct, right? Even if you take the external hard disk as an example, you have to read the data from the external hard disk, right? Similarly, I want to read the data from the database. Okay, who is going to help me? Virtual warehouse is going to help me in retrieving the data from the database. Okay, now let's prove that. Okay, I'm going to create a warehouse. Create warehouse. Let's say the warehouse name I'm going to create is Bank of America underscore warehouse. Okay, so I just created a warehouse. Okay, I'm just making a small change here. This is not required for you at this point of time. This is very important to understand. Okay, done. So let's try to see here. See, I have a warehouse called Bank of America warehouse and compute warehouse. Look at the status. What is the status? It is gray, right? It is, which means it is suspended. This is also suspended. Okay, now let me select this one. So there's a tick mark, right? Which means I'm using this warehouse. What is the purpose in using this warehouse? My requirement is to, so this is the table. Now let me insert the data. Okay, so I would like to insert these records. I would like to insert these three records. So just try to observe how I'm inserting the data. So insert into this table. Okay, values. So first one is anyways, I'll explain this in tomorrow's session also, but let's try to another 2 minutes get I'll conclude. 2024 06, let's say 05. So those who are not able to follow, I mean the sequel part, don't worry. I'll share you the videos. You can go through that and you can gain the right. You just need to spend like around 20 hours to gain the knowledge. That's it. Okay. There is another user called Ravi. Right. Let me just stick with these three records. I would like to insert the data. Okay. I would like to insert the data into this table. Let me run this. Okay. Can I able to insert the data? What is the error that you are getting? Just read the message. Guys, can you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes,
There's some
yes,
yeah,
Ravi.
there is some network
Yeah.
issue. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me show. So let me quickly cancel this and let me resume the warehouse. So I'm just statement executed successfully. Can you see the symbol? It is started, right? Earlier it is in suspended state. Now it is earlier suspended. Now it is in started state. So if the warehouse is in started state, I can perform the insert operations. Let me run the okay. Done. Okay, now again I'm suspending the warehouse. I'll tell you the reason. Done. Now can you see the status here? It is suspended, right? The status is suspended. Now I would like to see the data from the database, which means I would like to retrieve the data from the database. Okay. Let me query the table. See, am I able to query the data? See, warehouse is suspended, so you cannot able to read the data from the database. See, I would like to read the data from the database. So who is responsible? So warehouse, without warehouse help, I cannot able to retrieve the data. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to resume the warehouse. Okay, I'm going to resume the warehouse. My warehouse is started. So look at the status here. Just wait for a minute. It will start. Yeah, can you see? It is started. So my warehouse is started. Let me query the data. See, I can see the data, right? See, I am able to see the data. Fine. Anyways, so I'm just concluding here. Let me just take the questions. So before taking the questions, usually these are the different questions that I expect from the students. I have prepared. So you're able to hear me, right, guys?
Yeah. And I also have one question like, is it the warehouse is it like a virtual machine?
No, no, not like that. Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. Okay. Right.
ఒక వేర్ హౌస్ పెట్టుకుంటే జనరల్ గా మనం రెజ్యూమెన్ సస్పెండ్ ఇవి డెఫినెట్ గా రాయాలా ఆల్టర్
No, no.
కమాండ్
See, the point is, no. The point is, warehouse will be responsible for reading the data or writing the data to the database. That is the main what the purpose of warehouse. Okay, we'll discuss the rest of the things tomorrow. But on a high level, see, I'll tell you here. So generally, the questions which I expect from the students is what are the prerequisites to learn Snowflake. Okay, so SQL is mandatory. If you are not, I will share the recorded videos. You can go through that. Duration will be 35 days. We have close to 30 sessions. So every day 1 hour. And so some people ask like, are you going to help me in preparing resume, certification? Are you going to share interview questions, lab materials, real times? Yes. Okay. So these are the things that I can share. Okay. So apart from this, you guys have any other questions?
నో ఐ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ
Any other questions, guys? We have Rajib, Samrat, Seba, Yashwant.
No question.
Okay. Fine, guys. If you don't have any questions, yeah, then we are good to close the session. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I'll share the recorded video and like the class notes also. Just go through that. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
థ్యాంక్ యూ